which Venice was probably the coolest city in the game, and players could literally spend weeks there. Venice is just a beautiful city to look at, both during the day and at nighttime. The one thing that I liked about Venice, me personally, was the ability to hop in a gondola and take a breathtaking look at the city from the water's edge. Now, the Vatican is actually set up like an assassin level, similar to that of what Bloodlines for PSP was. Creed 2 uses a more cinematic and dynamic camera angles approach for the cutscenes, rather than weird static immobile camera angles that we saw from Assassin's Creed 1. For instance, when chatting to characters, I found it funny that I was able to spin Ezio around during in-game cutscenes. In order for the other characters to actually remain looking at Ezio, they would need to move their heads and eyes around in order to, try to make eye contact. I just found that funny. I'm strange, what can I say? To wrap up this segment, though, the characters Ezio, the cities, and the overall game just look absolutely splendid, and I love it! Okay, don't get me wrong, I actually like the music in this game. However, what I don't understand is why it was not fully orchestrated. The music is still good, not the best I've heard, mind you, but it gets the job done. I still say this music would have sounded a lot better orchestrated as opposed to MIDI. The music was composed by legendary composer Jasper Kidd. Honestly, I still can't stand this guy's take on the adventures of Batman and Robin for the Genesis. Most of his other music is beyond epic, and I mean that as a compliment. Throughout this review, you will hear all my favorite Assassin's Creed 2 songs. As far as the sound effects go, it's much better than the first game, honestly, especially the background characters, which I was really taken aback by that and was glad I didn't hear characters talking about the same stuff over and over again like in the first game. Much of the game is actually spoken in Italian, and it captures the 15th century perfectly. I'm also very pleased that most of the slang spoken in the game is what you would have heard on the streets of Venice in the 15th century, as opposed to Brooklyn in 1989. So I commend the research team tremendously for their excellent portrayal of 15th century life. So yeah, music and sound effects, A-okay. Moving on. Well, in all honesty, I really didn't like Ezio at the beginning of this game. To me, he came across as a spoiled rich kid with issues and a monster ego. I understand the opening levels are the game's way of trying to cleverly hide the tutorial levels, like that beat-em-up mission at the beginning where Ezio and this rival gang, fisticuff each other. And also how the game teaches you how to steal money from corpses or badly injured people. So you see the economics come into play when they have to go to the doctor and stuff like that. After that, the two brothers free run through the streets of Italy, which I actually like that a lot, and it helps the player get used to free running on the roofs and climbing and stuff like that. So that part of the game was actually a interesting beginning. The thing that got me a little annoyed was the having sex part in the game. At first I thought, oh great, don't tell me this is going to be like another God of War thing, but thankfully they didn't really show anything, but Ezio is definitely a cavalier with the ladies. The other thing that the game has you do is run errands for your dad, a lot. This again is to give players a better memory of the city of Florence for later in the game. Although honestly, after the numerous messenger boy missions, I was wondering, okay, when do I get to assassinate somebody? After your family is killed off, Ezio sees combat for a second or two, then for the most part he has to run for his life. By this point, the story had pulled me in hook, line, and sinker, and I couldn't stop playing even if I wanted to. The lady of the brothel then shows Ezio how to blend in and hide in plain sight, and I do have to say that this skill is crucial for you to learn because you'll use it throughout the game, and it's actually very well done. After you learn all the stuff that you need to in about an hour or so, the game slowly begins to reward your patience, and the game actually becomes a lot better than you could have hoped for. Guess what, gamers? It didn't take rocket scientists to figure out that this is a sequel to Assassin's Creed. Creed 2 was officially confirmed by Ubisoft's... oh my goodness, I can't say his name. There's his name. November 26th during a 2008 company FPR thingy, or for you people who don't know what that is, it's a financial performance report. I just get tongue-tied saying it, so we'll just call it FPR. Game Trailer's bonus round show began suggesting that Creed 2 took place during the French Revolution. However, this rumor turned out to be false, and Game Trailers made it up, like they do other things. On April 6th, a teaser video was released showing a skull, a hidden blade, and Leonardo's flying machine. April 16th, Game Informer released details of the game's setting, pictures of Ezio, and a new trailer was announced by Ubisoft. So it was all good. In May, during an interview with Sebastian Paul, he said Creed 2's development team had actually increased to 450 members. Wow. Which he boasted is double the size of the first game, which actually it is. Trust me, folks, the bigger development team shows how great this game is. June 1st, 2009, released a 4-minute trailer at E3. At Comic-Con, a new miniseries, which is actually a prequel to Assassin's Creed 2, and starred Ezio's father. The movie was called Lineage, and it released on YouTube and Spike TV in November. The movie is also available partly as a bonus in the game. Like the last game, famous actors signed on to be characters in this game too. Comedian Danny Wallace would be motion capturing and voicing a new character called Sean Hastings. Actress Kristen Bell returned as the character of Lucy. It was also hinted that the character Desmond would do more than just solve puzzles in this game. Due to wanting to release this game November of 2009, Ubisoft actually decided to remove campaign modes for Flory and Florence's Bonfire of Vanettes, although these modes will be downloadable features for the game in January and February, right around the release of Assassin's Creed 2 for the PC. Assassin's Creed 2 is available on the 360 and PS3, although the DS game is called Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery, which actually takes place 15 years after the console's ending. The game revolves around the Spanish Inquisition and has Ezio trying to rescue his Creed brothers and sisters, as well as stop Spain from sailing to the New World. Yeah, like he was able to do that. If you liked Ezio, this game is worth checking out as well. Before we start, I know that this is a very short tip segment. I just had so much fun playing it that this is the best that I could come up with. So just bear with me. Anyway, these short tips actually I picked up during my first and second playthroughs of the game. The most important thing I can say is save your money in the beginning to upgrade the villa because you'll get discounts and way more taxes, so it's a win-win! Actually, I didn't know this until beating the game the first time through, which made unlocking all the weapons and armor and everything else much easier, but oops. The item that I actually used the most in this game had to be the smoke bombs. These things are great and really help the player out in a pinch for numerous reasons. One, you can drop a bomb to quickly equip your hidden blades and assassinate the enemies chasing you, or before they attack, you can throw down the bombs and run away, so then you don't have to fight them at all, but I usually throw down the bombs and kill them because I'm an evil assassin. Another really cool thing you can do is actually throwing money. The money is great because when you throw the money down, the civilians actually shield you from harm's way and guards will trip over them and then you can escape or, fight the guards. Oh my goodness, I forgot one important, really cool thing. Remember, when you kill enemies, always check the corpse. Because you could find medicine, you can find knives, you can find all kinds of stuff. And also, never ever kill the messengers and the robbers, because if you just punch them, you steal their money anyway. And if you actually assassinate them, then you're going to be notorious, and then you're going to have to worry about guards chasing you, so it's just better to always punch people. So yeah, there are K-Wings tips. There you go. Awesome. Okay, so I have a few minor complaints and then a massive rant about the game's hidden agenda and anti-Christian message. But let's begin with the minor stuff first. The game's physics are wicked messed up. Example, Ezio can swim in full armor, but all the Templars and civilians still drown. Heck, I can throw a guy off a boat and he dies when they fall only a few feet into the water. It's not like I stabbed an artery before tossing the guy in the drink. It's almost like only Altair's descendants learned how to swim and everybody else is still afraid of water. So all the game's amazing qualities over the first game, there are definitely some interesting shortcomings. The same physics involves battling on rooftops too. I can kill guards and robbers and messengers by tossing them a few feet off the ledge and they will instantly die. It makes no sense whatsoever, and if they're going for realism, I think they hit a major speed bump. Hiding is also a joke in this game, almost like there's no point to doing it at all. The guard's line of sight is absolutely ridiculous in this game. Take the Vatican stage, for instance. I'm away, hiding in the corner, and that guard, who's like so far away, can see me standing there and keeps calling out, "I see somebody up there!" No, I don't see anybody. But then when I stand next to other guards, they don't do anything for a few seconds. They just stand there like, "Oh, is somebody standing in front of me? Hey!" Did anyone else notice that Ezio's the only one who ages in this game? Every other character but him does not. Even the mother, uncle, and daughter, and everyone else look the same age as the first chapter. Major facepalm, folks. Listen, don't get me wrong, the gun is a great addition to the assassin's deadly weapons. But it has one major flaw. You can't aim it! That's right, if you use the aim to shoot somebody from a distance, you can't target them at all. To make matters worse, Ezio cannot move his arm to even aim.